let me introduce the InterGrowth Foundation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded in 2023, dedicated to bridging ancient Chinese traditions with modern life. InterGrowth focuses on enhancing physical, mental, and spiritual well-being through practices like TCM, arts, and cultural education. Led by experts, licensed acupuncturist Qi and musician Xiao Ma, the organization fosters cultural integration, community building, and personal growth. InterGrowth currently runs 5 impactful projects. TCM Medicinal Kitchen, the one we'll be talking about today, Chinese Herb Garden, InterGrowth Wellness Digest Publication, Chinese Book Reading Club, and Care for Soul Parenthood Center. Today's focus is the TCM Medicinal Kitchen Project, a hybrid initiative that empowers participants to understand the healing power of food. By merging TCM principles with cooking, this project transforms kitchens into spaces of wellness, teaching how ingredients can balance our body and nourish the soul. Our presenter today is Qi Huijin, the visionary behind many of the InterGrowth initiatives. A licensed acupuncturist in New York and New Jersey, Qi Hui holds a master's in acupuncture and is renowned for his work in community-based organic farming and TCM education. He is also the founder of the Force Acupuncture. He actively promotes TCM through his clinical practice and projects through InterGrowth Foundation. With that, let's transition into today's session. Qi-Hui, are you ready?
Thank you, Melissa, for your introduction. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight to listen to our presentation. And today, we're going to talk about the TCM Medicinal Kitchen project. So first of all, I wanted to say that thanks to the UCA-CF to fund this program. So we are able to make this happen. And so briefly talk about this project first. So this project you will use the 24 solar terms as a time frame to introduce and use seasonal produce to create healthy meals for the soul and the body. And the project aims to support our community to appreciate Chinese medicine and Chinese culinary culture. And it includes online cooking classes, online discussion, in-person cooking demonstration, and farm field trips with hands-on farming activities. So the participants will see the growth of the herbs and the vegetables from seed to fruit, from the kitchen table to our plates, learning the wisdom of using food and herbs as medicine for healthy living. So today we're going to go over some basic ideas of the TCM food therapy, nutrient diet, nourishing diet, the property, action, and application of food, the principle of TCM food therapy, and we'll specifically talking about how we eat and stay well in the spring season. And before we end the session today, we'll talk about the program structure and outcomes, and we'll answer some questions. So before we start, I wanted to just emphasize the definition of health in Chinese medicine. And according to WHO, the definition of health is not only the absence of disease, but also physical, mental, and social well-being, as well as moral health. But in Chinese medicine, there's another layer or another aspect of health, which is the capacity to adapt to nature. This is another dimension to individuals' health. And we also can't avoid talking about Yangshen. Yangshen means nourishing life. It is a comprehensive approach to health and longevity in traditional Chinese medicine. It integrates various lifestyle practice to cultivate health, cultivate physical health, mental health, spiritual well-being by aligning with nature's rhythm and maintaining internal balance. So that's also something InterGrowth Foundation has been working on to help people understand the concepts. So in Yangshan, there are many aspects. There are mental emotional wellness, social well-being, dietary therapy, or nurturing diet, dietary, a daily routine, sleep hygiene, and refined leisure, and also sexual health, right? And the bath, qigong, physical cultivation, acupuncture, massage therapy, and herbal medicine support. And those modalities we aim to help people to learn, and they can do themselves for self-care. So when we talk about food therapy or nourishing diet, is sometimes is confusing because these words are sometimes used together. But before we dive into the details, I wanted to just give a clear definition of each. So the TCM nourishing diet is a health preserving method guided by TCM principles. It involves selecting and combining food based on their properties and replenish gene essence, boost qi, balance yin and yang, maintain health, promote longevity, and prevent diseases. And that's suitable for everyone, while food therapy is more therapeutic. So it's mainly for individuals with illness. Both are sharing the same theological foundation. And I think many of you have heard of qi. And qi is a very fundamental concept in traditional Chinese medicine. And it represents warmth, energy, activity in the body. And it is the driving force of life, responsible for maintaining physiological functions, metabolism, and overall vitality. And qi is very important because qi keeps you warm. If you have cold hands and cold feet, that means you might have qi deficiency. Or if you have poor energy, like fatigue, that also indicates qi deficiency. And also qi is there's a particular qi called wei qi or defensive qi. It protects you from being sick. So that also protects you. It acts as your immunity. And it also helps digestion because it powers your stomach to process food. So there's a term in Chinese medicine. It's called yang transforms qi, yin forms structure. So it is a fundamental concept in TCM that describes the dynamic relationship between yin and yang in the body. And the yang is associated with movement, warmth, and energy transformation. It drives physiological activities, metabolism, and the circulation of qi and blood. And yin is associated with substance, nourishment in the material form. It provides the physical foundation of the organs, tissues, body fluids. That includes the blood and the thick and the thin body fluids. And we know food has a lot of properties. When it's used in food therapy or nourishing diet, because of their properties, it has an effect on the physical body. So these properties have been generalized and summarized by Asian Chinese physicians through long-term practice and the accumulation of knowledge about food. And the property of food includes the temperature, or we call it nature, or the taste, and channel, and also their direction, including descending, ascending, floating, and sinking properties. And we'll go over each one. So the temperature is I think the easiest property to understand, but the temperature is not the temperature in physics. It's more of the energetic temperature. So there are cold, cool, warm, and hot. And warm is milder than hot, and cool is milder than cold. So there are different degrees. And in the foods suitable for individuals with hot constitution or heat-related conditions are classified as cold or cool foods. For example, watermelon can help treat summer heat. Foods suitable for individuals with cold constitution or cold related conditions are classified as warm or warm food, hot foods. There are foods in between. They're not warm, they're not cold or cool, and so they are considered neutral. And we'll give some examples later. And there's a treatment principle behind using food, either for nourishing diet or food therapy. So it's very easy to understand. So when you have cold, you use heat to treat. When you have heat and you use cold to treat. So, for example, when someone has a stomach cramp or stomach pain caused by cold, so usually ginger is the one you go um, to fix the problem. So let's do a quick quizzes. There are I listed 5 different foods, and these are seaweed, celery, carrot, black pepper, and garlic. You can type in the chat and just go by the order and tell me which one is cold. You just answer it's cold or hot. You don't have to be more specific on cold or cool. Let's try it. Yes, seaweed and the celery are cold, and carrots are neutral, and actually garlic and pepper are hot. Let's try another one. So the first one is glutinous rice, which is also called sweet rice. The second one is scallion and longan, and then bitter melon and the soybean. These ones are a little more difficult. So the answer is warm, hot, warm, cold, and neutral. Um, yep, as we just told, bitter madam, bitter greens, persillon, lotus roots, salt, kelp, and nori are cold. And mung barley, red spinach, celery, loofah, radish, eggplant, tea leaves are cooling. And glutinous rice, Chinese chive, fennel, scallion whites, cilantro, walnuts, goat milk are warm. And mustard, chili pepper, black pepper, dried ginger are considered hot. So generally, cold and cool foods help nourish yin. That means it help forms the form, and it clears heat because they are cold, and reduce internal fire. Uh, I know probably these terms are not quite familiar with everyone, but in our future classes, we'll explain each one, and you will learn how exactly identify what pattern or what's going on in the body and what food you can use to treat or to balance the energy. And cold food can also cool blood and clear toxins. So here, when we talk about toxins, it's um, not the toxins we talk about in chemistry. It's, in Chinese medicine includes pathogenic factors, toxicity of substance, and accumulated waste in the body, and also inflammation and infections. So don't be confused. Warm and hot foods can warm the meridians, dispel cold, support yang, invigorate blood, and enhancing the smooth flow of qi and blood. And the neutral foods primarily have nourishing and tonifying effects. And now we're going to talk about tastes. And there are 5 main tastes in our diet, based on Chinese medicine theory. And I think these are pretty easy to identify. But what I wanted to explain or share more about is the actions of different tastes. So the sour taste is astringent, helps retain and consolidation. That means it brings the energy inward. I don't think I have to go over all the examples, but the second one is bitter. Bitter clears heat. It brings the energy down, and it reduces internal fire, dispels dampness, and also has a purgative effect. So it's very common to see that some people, after drinking coffee, they go to the bathroom a lot, right? And sweet is tonifying, harmonizing, and it treats spasm symptoms. And sweet food includes dates, syrup, rice, bread, pasta, rice. There are 2 rice here. And the potatoes, sweet fruits, dairy products, and sugary foods. Spicy or pungent food. So a lot of spicy food are in this category, but some are not considered spicy. For example, like mint or garlic. We don't say garlic is spicy, but it's in the pungent category. So it dispersing the qi, promote qi and blood circulation. And it also brings the qi upward, means ascending qi, or outward. We'll talk about the direction later. And salty softens hardness, dissipates nodule, and has a purgative effect. That includes any type of salty food, seafood, soy sauce. And there's another one, it's called plain, or it's called plain actually. So it has it's similar to sweet, but it's not exactly. But plant food can transform dampness and promote urination. And these 5 tastes goes to different body systems. So the sour goes to the liver, pungent goes to the lungs, and bitter goes to the heart. Salty goes to the kidney, and sweet enters the spleen. let me give you an example here for the salty food. So when you probably notice when people get older, they need to eat more salty food because the kidney is deficient, and then the salty food can somehow supply the energy to the kidney to maintain their function. So that's a common sign we see, and that's aligned with this principle here. I think we can skip this. And so before we talk about the directions, we have to understand that there are many conditions that has a component in it that is related to the qi direction. Here I listed when the qi going upward, you'll see vomiting, coughing, or asthma. Those are the qi going upward in the body, but they are supposed to going down. And when diarrhea happens, incontinence, prolapse of the rectum, or any prolapse of the organs, like the uterus or stomach, or even like umbilical hernia, those are because of the energy that goes down. It's not holding in place. And we also see a lot of signs of qi going outward, like spontaneous sweating or night sweats. They're different. Spontaneous sweating is more happening during the day, and night sweats is more happening while you are sleeping. When you get up, you don't sleep, but you don't sweat. So that's considered a night sweat. And also, when we experience, like, for example, common cold, and those are usually on the superficial level, but it also can go inward. That means, sometimes we just have common, like a runny nose or headaches. Those are the symptoms on the very superficial level of the body. When it goes in, it causes fever. So usually doctors will suggest that you do something to promote sweating. When the skin pores are open, the pathogenic factors will be released, so it won't go inward. So it further prevent fever to happen. So after we understanding those qi directions in different conditions, we know how to choose food to treat. So, okay. So what are the food that has rising or floating properties? They are usually light, airy, or aromatic foods that can have various effects, such as stimulating yang energy, dispelling wind in the cold, inducing vomiting. Sometimes inducing vomiting is not a bad thing. Yeah, because you don't want the food, the toxins to stay in the body. And opening the orifices. For example, here, cilantro and the scallion white, the white part of the scallion, can disperse wind and cold. Jasmine flower calms the liver, alleviate the depressive emotion. And for sinking in the descending foods, it usually has a firm texture and a strong aroma, and which has various effects, including purging, clearing heat, promoting urination, eliminating dampness, calming the mind, suppressing yang, extinguishing wind, digesting and eliminating food stagnation, reducing adverse flow, the flow of qi, astringent and relieving cough and asthma. For example, wax guard and coin silk. Coin silk is the hairy part of the corn. They're known for promote urination and treat edema and difficulty in urination. And the watermelon we just talked about, it clears heat and also generates body fluids and treats heat disease and thirst. So when we talk about what the food do, we are talking about, or what the food does, we are talking about the action of food. So the main action of food are replenish deficiency, and that's why we need to use food, right? To support righteousness, which means the righteousness chi, which is the immunity, and purge excess and expel evil chi or pathogenic factors, and harmonize the internal organs, which is more for nourishing. And we use food for many different purposes, and it's very essential for life because without food we cannot survive. And also we use food to maintain health and provide care. For example, body shape, physical strength, hair, complexion, facial features, facial rejuvenation, and for intelligence, consciousness, reproduction, and fertility and longevity. We also use food to prevent and treatment of illness. So within prevention, we have two measures. So one is pre-symptomatic prevention. That means before you start having symptoms, for example, during a cold season or winter season or like a flu season, you eat certain food every day to prevent getting any symptoms. And there's also a way to prevent the progression of existing diseases. That means, if you don't treat it, or even if you're treating it, the illness can progress. And then you know where it's going to progress. So as you know where the illness is going, and then you try to support it to slow it down or prevent it from progressing. And not only can prevent, using food can not only prevent illness, but also we can use it to treat. And that's more of the food therapy. Okay, so let's talk about two ingredients probably many people are aware of and getting more familiar with. And one is jujube. Jujube is a type of dates. It's also called Chinese red dates. And in 食疗本草, which is an old text in Chinese medicine, it says jujube neutralize the poison of various let's say medicinal herbs, opens the 9 orifices and replenish insufficient qi. So it boosts your qi. Properties, so we just talk about different properties. So I want to just provide an example to help you understand what we are talking about in the real food. So it's sweet in taste, neutral temperature, neutral in temperature, or neutral in nature. It enters the spleen, lung, and kidney meridians, and it strengthens the spleen and the stomach, nourishes the kidney, in essence, promotes the production of body fluids, reduce blood sugar. Even though it's sweet in taste, but it doesn't it reduce blood sugar. So it is a good food for many conditions. Application. So jujube, when it's fresh, you can eat it like a fruit. So it's mostly eaten raw. And when it's dry, and it's usually used in decoctions, or you can put it in the congee to make it a rice congee with jujube. And all the food almost have contraindications because they have properties, right? It might good for people with cold constitution, so it might not be good for people with hot constitution. So with the jujube, those with excessive dampness, phlegm, congestion, that means you have extra fluids accumulating in the body that is not being processed properly. In those conditions, jujube is not good for the body. And also when someone has cheese stagnation, jujube should be used with caution. And the second food I'm going to talk about is ginger. And I know everyone knows ginger. And ginger is in 神农本草经, which is the oldest herbal medicine book in Chinese medicine. It has the long-term use. Ginger removes bad odor and opens the mind to enlightenment. It is pungent, warm in nature, and it enters the lung, stomach, and the spleen meridian. So that's why it can treat the cold in the stomach. Because it dispels cold, because it relieves exterior. I know some people knows that relieving exterior means you purge, you dispel the external level of the illness. So that's where the lung is being in charge. So that also explains why it enters the lung. And the ginger also reduce adverse qi, stop vomiting, transform phlegm, and release coughing. And you can make a ginger and jujube tea. So you can put them together. So this is a recipe. We can share the slides later, so you can make your own tea. I just added this slides before the presentation, and I wanted to give an example about how we do some modification with a dish or with a meal to make it more suitable for a different season. So this is a very popular soup called hot and sour soup because it's hot and also sour. The hot means not the temperature, it means it's spicy. So it has two tastes. So when we talk about a dish, we talk about not just individual ingredients, we talk about the whole meal. So I highlighted different ingredients with color red, meaning it's hot, and blue meaning it's cold. So we see there are white pepper, chili oil, scallion, and cilantro. They're hot, and tofu, mushroom, bamboo shoots, and eggs. Those are considered cooling food. And the idea here is usually we suggest that this particular soup should be consumed in spring or the autumn. Why? Because they are associated with these two tastes. So in the springtime, which we'll talk about later, the springtime we wanted to eat food that are a little spicy or a little pungent to promote the qi to circulate outward or upward. So when you make a hot and sour soup in the spring, you want to add more spicy ingredients, like the white pepper, for example. But if you wanted to consume it in the fall, you might want to bring the energy inward. So you will add more vinegar actually. So it make it more sour. So after you knowing these principles, you know how to modify your ingredients to make it suitable for you or for your family or for any mild condition that you probably have for the day. So there are a few dietary principles. Chinese medicine emphasized that you need to eat everything, and because different food that provides different either material or energetic support. So grains, this is in Huangdi Meijing, which is one of the most important book in Chinese medicine. It's called the Yellow Emperor Internal Canon. It says grains provide substance, fruits offer support, livestock bring nourishment, and vegetables supply enrichment. When consumed in harmony with their flavor and properties, they replenish essence and enhance qi. So the qi means more of the postnatal energy. However, the essence is more from the prenatal essence. So without the prenatal or the postnatal, we cannot survive. The second principle is diet based on symptom differentiation. So especially when we use food to treat, we wanted to understand what constitution the body is and how does it present at this moment. So usually we check the tongue, we check the complexion, and we find the connections between these findings, and then we determine which food we choose. And when we use medicine, when we use herbal medicinal herbs, we use the same ideas. The third principle is balancing the 5 flavors. So in different seasons, there are different practice we need to know, but in general, you wanted to make sure the foods are well balanced in the five tastes. And because they go to different organs, you want to harmonize the organs to make sure they are balanced. And this is from the book. It says the five tastes can nourish as well as harm the 5 viscera. If the yin and the yang of the viscera are out of balance, it can lead to diseases. So when we are overconsume certain food, it can cause a lot of issues, and I think that's a very common conclusion. Yeah, so here it says access. These are just more of examples. I want to just read the second part. Therefore, one must carefully balance the 5 flavors to ensure the bones remain strong and the tendons remain flexible, and the qi and blood flow smoothly, and the internal organs are in harmony. When the balance is achieved, the bone qi is refined, the path is followed correctly, and one will live a life in accordance with destiny. very deep thoughts, right? This is from 2000, even more longer than that. Okay, the third one is moderation. So Chinese medicine emphasizes moderation. Dietary moderation involves controlling food portions to maintain a balanced sense of hunger and fullness. So you don't eat too full, you don't fast too much. I know fasting is very popular right now. But for the body, we wanted to minimize the stress. And so you wanted to have more regular timely meals, and you have a rhythm for the body to manage. So whenever the body is having stress, it takes more energy. It utilizes the prenatal essence. So moderation is something we need to keep in mind. And the dietary restrictions. We know what we should eat. We also need to know what we shouldn't be eating. So in Chinese medicine or Chinese dietary therapy, we emphasize that cold foods, cold drinks, or a large amount of raw fruits, because fruits are mostly cooling or cold. So they consumes the yang and can cause potentially yang deficiency or weak spleen, because the organs is working the best when they are protected, they are warm. So if you're eating something that's lower than your body temperature, your body need to warm it up to the body temperature in order to process it. So it takes up a lot of energy. And spicy that refers to chili pepper, Sichuan pepper, leeks, onion, and ginger. So they're not good for any heat-related illness or hot constitution. And sticky and slippery. These sounds a little weird, but they refer to those foods that has a sticky or slippery texture. They're sticky rice or glutinous rice, wheat, barley, fatty pork, cheese, and fried products. So if you are spleen deficiency, means sometimes you have poor digestion, or if you check your tongue, you have scallops on the tongue sides or teeth marks, or if you have a very thick coating, that means you have dampness. So when that happens, those foods should be avoided. Not forever, but for a period of times. Just you will notice the difference when you avoid these. Okay. Greasy food, that refers to oil, fatty meats, fried food, dairy products. They're not suggested consumed during the hot summer. And fishy, gamey food. So like seafood or lamb, or so those with wing heat, phlegm heat, rashes, sores, or those prone to coughing or asthma should avoid those food. And they're triggering food as well. That means usually those food can trigger or exacerbate conditions like sore, boils, urticaria, tinea, coughing, asthma. They trigger their onset. And they include yellow crocker, hair tail, shrimp, lamb, alcohol, cilantro, bamboo shoots. Bamboo shoots is not very common in Western diet, but that's something we'll talk about in the future in our classes. Okay. So we choose food based on different concepts. So we can choose food based on seasons, right? Because different season, we have different energy in the body. the nature has a different rhythm, so we choose food according to those changes. And we also choose food depending on who's eating it, right? Or what's their age, gender, occupation, lifestyle habits, or if we are feeding a child or an elderly or a pregnant woman or lactating mothers, we have different considerations. And these are the 11 different constitutions, and we'll talk about each one in our future classes. So we need to talk about spring now. This is from Huang Jing. This is very important because we're in the spring season already. And we talked about the spring season is the energy is rising and everything is reviving. So everything is growing. And also it means the season is very windy. It can disturb the body. We call it internal wind, like dizziness or like any like itchiness. Those are associated with wind. So basically, in the 3 months of spring, it is called the time of renewal. Heaven and earth came to life together, and all things flourish. One should go to bed late at night and rise early. Take walks in the courtyard, let the hair flow freely and a relaxed body to nurture vitality. Give life rather than harm it. Give generously rather than take away. Reward rather than punish. This aligns with the energy of spring, and it's the way to maintain health. If one goes against this, the liver will be harmed, leading to cold-related illness. In summer, there's a consequence, right? If you don't take care of yourself, and one's ability to grow and flourish will be weakened. In the spring, you want to promote the smooth flow of qi, right? Because yin is yin ascending and yang is growing. So you want to choose food that has a warming or hot property. And spicy, sweet food are young, according to the book of Materia Medica. And we need to reduce sourness, right? Because sourness is for the fall. So if you eat too much sour food, it brings the energy inward. It's going against the nature. And also, we wanted to consider in the early spring, you might want to eat more warm or spicy food, but in the late spring, because you are transitioning to the summer, you want to eat a little bit cooling food. For example, like mung bean soup or azuki bean soup. Also, avoid any like food that are too hot, like lamb, spicy hot pot, chili, citron pepper. And also appropriately supplement nutrients because this is a season for rebirth, for growing, especially for kids. You want to add a little bit more like sweet food, not the sweet in taste, but like the plain food that has no it's not sour, not spicy or anything. It's just plain like a potato or like Chinese yam. Those food are very good for kids. And also because everyone is being more active. So we want to add more protein to strengthen the spleen in the stomach. And also in the springtime, we get a lot of different varieties of vegetables. So this is the best time to eat grains. And grains soothes the liver to help express the qi. This is the homework for today's presentation. So let's just do a very interesting experimentation. So choose a meal when you have your next meal, and select the one, or you can even select the one you have already eaten, and list the ingredients and write them down. Write down the ingredients, what is used, the vegetables, grains, protein, and even seasoning. Please include them. And determine what their temperatures are. Like it's cooling, warming, hot, neutral, or cold. And then you compare how are you, balanced in energy, or is it too hot, too cold, too much cold ingredients. Let's just, do a small homework, and you can write an email to us and tell us how you feel about it and what action or what the next step you will improve your diet. And we have a few minutes left. I want to just talk about what we are going to do in the next step in terms of the program. So the program aims to educate the whole program. Today we're doing orientation. So moving forward, we'll do more classes. So the purpose of the program is to educate Chinese cuisine philosophy and explore the healing property of TCM ingredients. We will have hands-on cooking to develop your cooking skills. And we'll promote mindful eating practice, support your digestive health through TCM principles, and also learn the constitution-based cooking and illness prevention. And for our online courses, the only thing we'll provide you a list of food we're going to talk about in our class, so you can get the grocery ready before we start. Sometimes we will add another few recipes, but you're always welcome to do it after the session, after the class. And we also will recommend where to get the food if you're local, you're in Rockland County, or you're in the city. If we have any partnership, we will have them prepare the food or the grocery bag for you. So that's our next step to work with these markets. Usually each class will have two parts. The first part will be a presentation, like it's similar to what we talked about today, but it's going to be different contents or ideas. We'll go over a lot of different ingredients in our cooking. The second part will be a cooking demonstration. So I'll have two cameras set up, and I'll do the cooking on Zoom, and everyone can, listen to the class in your kitchen, and just make sure you prepare the ingredients beforehand so we can cook together. But you can go on your own pace. So our next class will be on March 29th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 12. Sometimes it might go more than 2 hours. But every time we'll record the lecture. And in the summer, we'll do May 17th, and the summer solstice is going to be June 28th. All the class will be on Saturday. And starting in the fall, we will probably stick with the same schedule, but we will do another announcement in the future. And then we're also trying to do some in-person classes that based on the availability of the places or the number of participants. So we'll focus on more the cooking techniques, and we'll share a meal together after each class, after each in-person classes. You're welcome to come to Chestnut Ridge to cook with us together. And we'll also have some farm work days because we have a garden. This year we have 2 beds growing Chinese vegetables or Asian vegetables. So we'll have some work day. and most likely on weekends. So we'll announce in the future as well. And these are the contents we're talking about. The next class will talk about vegetables, edible weeds, and condiments. And then we'll talk about eggs, dairy, seafood, tea in the summer, and lagoon poultry. And in the fall, we talk about the fruits, nuts, and the way we design the course is also because, for example, the fruits are mature in the fall, so we would take the fall course to talk about fruits and nuts. And then, for example, the winter time, it's good for consuming raw vegetables. So we're talking about raw vegetables and the meats. And then we might have some special events also based on the availabilities. There are a lot of work we need to do on our side. So we're trying to do some seeds sowing day in March, and April we'll do a bamboo harvest day, or at least do some bamboo topic presentation. In May, it's the best time to harvest mugwort, and that's gonna be in May. And June, we can do some wild medicinal herb foraging. Okay. So if you're interested, you can sign up by scanning this QR code. Or if you have any questions about our course or any other programs that InterGrowth is doing, you can email us. You can follow us on Instagram, and we're happy to provide information and answer questions. So this is our presentation today, and I'm happy to answer some questions. Maybe we'll end the session by 9:15. So we'll take 10 minutes to answer questions.